Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and today we are looking at the next entry into the Fanhome official Starships collection of Star Trek Starships. In this case, it's one from Star Trek Picard, and it is the SS Eleos. Well, actually the US Eleos XI, which is a medical ship. It's a hospital ship as commanded by Dr. Beverly Crusher in I think it was the 3rd season of Star Trek Picard. So that's what we've got as our main attraction. I also have another free gift. And this one is, now I don't know if other people have received this because I have been hearing it's quite elusive. And I'm being careful because it's actually really heavy. It's really heavy, but the thing itself is actually not that huge. Now it's got tape on it, I think. So this is the organogram. This is the USS Titan. It's on backwards. It's the USS Titan or organogram. I'm going to take the protective sleeve off it so that it can actually be seen. I'm now, because it actually, I think they're double-sided, so it's really going to get in the way. Maybe I'm going to not take up too much time doing that. This is it. This is it. It's supposed to show all of the turbo lift routes as if it was one of the sort of Lars displays on the USS Titan. So it should show the different decks and its various locations along there. I mean, it's actually really nice, but the thing itself is quite small. And I'm just trying to work out how it joins together. I think it's just magnetic. Yes, it is. It's magnetic, so magnets hold it together. But it's not a very clear. I don't know if it's double-sided. Doesn't seem to be. So it does seem, in fact, to be quite opaque. Obviously, as with all things, there's no actual instructions. This one also has a safety cover on it, so we'll take that off as well. Bet you didn't think you'd be watching this happen live, did you? Me neither, as it goes. So this is how it should, I believe, be assembled. I'm wondering whether it needs to have a light source behind it. And then that connects to there like that. Except it doesn't, so I've got that on backwards. Or something. No, that doesn't work either. What have I done? What have I done here? Why isn't this working anymore? Is it that? Okay, so it's that. So this is it without the additional defensive stuff on it, and it's very hefty. I mean, all the effort's gone into the case that surrounds it by the looks of things. It is magnetic, so it's neat. I guess it can only really sort of stand on your desk. I'm just going to try an experiment and see if I can see what this looks like with a light source behind it. I suppose that looks quite good, doesn't it? It's just how do you get a light source behind it consistently? That's going to give you the experience that you would want from this free gift. Yeah, I mean, it's weighty, so it feels like you've got something pretty nifty, but I don't know why it has to be quite so big to accommodate it. And actually, as I'm looking at it, it does look a bit like the thing itself is scuffed. So yeah, okay, interesting, but I don't know if it's, I don't know where I would put it or what I would do with it, which, you know, kind of key considerations when you're looking at something that hefty. But I'll fiddle with it because it may well be, excuse me as I get rid of rubbish, it may well be that it is far more interesting than I'm giving it credit for. But for the here and the now, we're looking at the SS Eleos. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's NAR 590159. A quick tour of the box, as is our custom. So there's the front. You can see all the detail there. Star Trek Picard. It is the Eleos. It's the standard size for the Star Trek collection from Fanhome. There we can see the ship itself warping away, as it's prone to do. We should have another image of it round on the side here. Yes, we do. There's an actual product shot of it on its stand. Looks like a bit of a funny shape, but we shall see. Nothing really on the back apart from words and doodahs and blah blahs. It doesn't make any unpleasant noises, so give me microseconds and I will get the ship out of the box. And here we have the SS Eleos out of the box, and frankly looking pretty good. I've put the ship on the turntable again, so you can have a sort of hands-free look at it across the different upper dimensions. I will pick it up and get it in hand in a second. But what I'm really enjoying looking at here is, again, all of the surface detailing. I've got to be honest, this was not a ship that I was particularly excited to get my hands on. It's in that sort of bracket of yeah, so I suppose this is what we've got to buy so we can get to the good ones, which is really awful in so many ways. And I think also I may have been doing this particular ship a disservice. I don't staggeringly remember it in the series, but I think that's more on me than it is on the ship. Although I do remember her having a ship, and I'm guessing it's this. But I really do like the look of this, the lines of this. And I also have a very positive thing to say again about the display stand that we're given with this. And again, I'll show you that in a second, because it's designed, it's cut in such a way that it is really cleverly designed. I'll just stop that here, I think, because it really is designed to support that saucer section. There's a sort of, I'll just take it off there for a second, bear with me. It is a bit tight on there, but in some ways I'd rather that. So you can see the jaws of this, they are actually designed to cope with and to, if you like, embrace the different levels where the stand connects, so it can go right up to where that platform is and hold it with a decent degree of stability. And I really like that. I don't like then taking it off because I worry I'm going to scratch the paintwork, but you know, there we are. So let's take a little in-hand look around the ship now. Again, we can see the registration details on the front there, along with that forward deflector. The saucer section below we will see a bit more of there in a moment when I do the rear view and the underneath view of the ship. But sort of the front portion of the saucer, I'm calling it a saucer, it clearly isn't a saucer per se, but you know, I know it's not a Starfleet ship, but in sort of Starfleet, Star Trek ship terminology, it's kind of the saucer section. But we can really see some wonderful surface detailing there. I'm even going to go so far as to say they've got some bold sculpting here, because those lights are very much in the middle of another set of tampos, and if they'd been off, that would have looked absolutely hideous. And they're not off, they're actually bang on. These ones are a little bit bleedy over here, and again, my advice would be, and I think they might have done it down here actually, my advice would be, don't create indentations, just put the lights on. And then if you miss the indentations, well, you haven't, because there aren't any. I think that's what they've done there. And so points for that, less points for this, but accuracy on point here. Well done. But we can see, again, there's multiple layers here. You can see, I don't know, I can't remember whether that's a shuttlecraft bay or not, but there certainly looks like a landing pad there, beautifully decked out in that sort of lilac colour scheme. I hope you can see that there. It looks really good. In fact, I'll go so far as to say I'm very taken with the colour scheme and the surface detailing of this ship. I did not think I was going to be... I thought this was going to be one of those ones that I go, yeah, it's a bit sort of samey, it's a bit sort of nothing, move on to the next one. But I am very pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly surprised. You can see, I think, where I'm assuming are impulse engines, although I suspect they might get caught up in that rear portion. There's no translucent plastic in that section. It is just orange paint, but it works. It pulls that out for us. We'll move on to the nacelles. we've got a section joining them there. Again, the surface detailing really nice. You can see the tamper graphics, you can see the mold, and again, for me, the paint on that mold, pretty good. Some of the best paint I think we've seen. The nacelles do contain some translucent plastic. We've got the Passard collector there with the red. We've got the actual warp vents there with the standard sort of blue, and there's a bit more blue, if you can see that there, at the very end of the nacelles. There's an interesting element of design here with a sort of secondary element below the nacelle. It's not a nacelle, but it's part of that elongated part of the ship's hull that sort of stick out here. My advice to anyone collecting this, and if you collected it, you've probably already made this, you've already got this under wraps, which is great, but do be mindful that this is a model and not a toy, and I do think that any sort of robust play with this will lead to potential breakages, because whilst you can feel a bit of heft in the front, the rest of this is very light, and whilst it looks every bit as sturdy as the front, I could foresee this being snapped quite easily. I do like the intricacies of the fins and the various panel sections here. I really like that. I think they've done an excellent job of pulling that out. We can see the underside here, and again the tamper graphics are pretty much on point there, I would say. I can't see any seaming issues down there. It all looks really well done. Again, then you can see the underside of those impulse engines there. I really love, again, the lights are doing a good job of giving you a sense of depth and a sense of the various levels applied here. I really like this. There's not too much going on the underside of the sort of primary, what I guess is the primary the fore section of the ship, but it is a lovely paint scheme. It's a lovely colour scheme, and it's a lovely paint job, I have to say. I mean, even down to here where we've got these circular ports, which are in a sort of almost like a duck egg blue, they're on point. They haven't missed. They're exactly where they need to be. And the same with these ones, which are in the middle of some other darker blue paint. They've made it. So it can be done, and it can be done really well. And I think they've done this one really well. I really, really like it. I think they've done an excellent job with it, and I really like how it looks. I think it will photograph really well, and I think it will look excellent on a display stand. So yeah, I'm pleased to be able to say that I'm pleased to have this in the collection, because, as I say, when I saw this one, it didn't really jump out at me as a ship that I've recognised and went, wow, great, we're getting that. You see, now I've talked positively about this, my experience with this, and now it's deliberately, now there we go. I was going to say it's deliberately playing up so that I can, so it's showing off, not doing what it's supposed to do. I hope you're seeing this as well as on camera. The ship's hull has a really nice sort of golden gleam to it. It isn't gold, but the way the light catches it projects a kind of golden gleam to it, and it looks so good. It looks so good in the lighting. I'm just going to do another spin one more time for you, so you get a chance to have a look at it without my big beefy fingers in the way, because I just think it is a really lovely ship. And again, I know I always try and be positive about the Star Trek Starships, because I love the collection, and I am genuinely interested in the different designs and the different styles, but I am really pleasantly surprised with how I've reacted to this arriving, because again, even when it arrived, and it arrived really quickly after the last one, I'm quite surprised. I must admit, I was a bit kind of I'm not sure how excited I am to get it even out of the box, but to be honest with you, I was pretty excited once I got it out of the box, because it just, well, because it was intact, so I didn't have any problems or issues there, but I think it just looks so good. It really does. I think there's just so much loveliness with this particular ship that I wasn't prepared for. I really didn't think I was going to have such a positive reaction to it. Of course, we don't just have the organogram of the lifts. We have the magazine, which also shows the ship off in space flight very nicely too. Again, I'm not going to go through all of this because A, copyright probably, and B, if it is something you're interested in, then I know you're going to pick this ship up and get the magazine and have a read of it yourselves. But here's a bit of info about the ship. It confirms that it is a hospital ship. Some lovely shots of the ship. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to have to rewatch season 3 of Picard, because I think they could have made more of this ship than perhaps, or maybe if they did, I've completely missed it. So again, in the magazine, some lovely concept art shots, various bits of behind the scenes discussion and modeling, etc, etc. So of course my recommendation has to be pick this beautiful thing up, because it is actually really lovely. Now, if you're more into the sort of predominantly hero ships, then I totally understand that. You might have limited space, and more likely, if you're like me, limited funds and limited space, which is the ultimate combo. As a result of that, you might be making some choices. And if you are picking these up individually rather than on the subscription, then I can understand why this ship would be a bit of a pass, a potential easy pass. I hope through my showing of this, you get to see that it's perhaps not quite the easy pass that I certainly would have thought it was. You know, if I wasn't on the subscription, I don't think I would have lent in and committed to purchasing this. And that's just me being honest. But the fact that I've got it as part of the subscription, I am pleased with it. And again, if you are subscribing to this already and you've received this ship, and I know some of you are a bit ahead of me because of you going in the first wave of subscriptions, you'll already have received this, so I'd be interested to know your reactions. Was this one that was on your radar as a must-have, and you were rewarded for it, or was this one of your could be a pass, might sell it on? And do you still feel the same, or having had it in hand, are you more surprised than you thought you would be with the quality of the ship and how it feels in your hands? Love to hear your thoughts as ever down below. I'm really enjoying this collection. I think the next one along the line is 100% one that I would probably have passed on. I hope that I have the same reaction that I have with this one. I don't know. If anyone's already got it and wants to share with me what they think about it, I'll gird my loins in case we have a similar or rather less similar experience when I get round to receiving and opening that one up. Anyway, thank you for spending the last 15 or so minutes with me. I have been the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector. You have been a fantastic companion to walk you through this starship with. And this has been the SS Eleos XI from Star Trek Picard, as it appears in the Star Trek official Starships collection as released via Fanhome. Thanks again. If you have enjoyed watching this, please smash the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could. It's completely free, and there's of course no obligation to watch everything. I'm not going to tell you the whole spiel. You know how YouTube works. But if you're not up for doing that, that's absolutely fine. I'm just glad you were here, as I said, to be my companion as I show you through the SS Eleos. Anyway, I very much look forward to seeing you in a future video. It just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now. And before I go, I just wanted to say, yes, I absolutely know I kept calling it something else, but it isn't a coudogram. So if you've already put in the comments that I'm calling it the wrong thing, apologies. But yeah, it's an coudogram. I'm very sorry. And I've got it now here with a light display behind it, and I do kind of like it. I still think the surround is a little bit too big, but I do kind of like it. I think it works. Anyway, thanks very much, and I'll see you very soon.